Hello, welcome to YouTube channel of NHRD Pune. I'm Neena Kamal with the latest episode of PeoplePoint. Today we have Mr. Vinod Bidwaik with us, and whose mission itself is to make difference in people's lives by empowering them with three thinking sets: mindset, skill set, and tool set. He's a seasoned HR leader with over 2 decades of leadership experience in prestigious organizations like Mahindra and Mahindra, Alfa Laval, DSM, Semperit Group. He's currently working as the Group Director HR for AP Global Group, which is, we all know, for companies like Sakal Media Group, APG Learning, and many more. Vinod has extensively worked in the areas of business strategy, organizational redesign, talent management, talent development. He has handled OD projects like leadership development centers. He is a thought leader in the area of new way of working. He has been awarded and recognized at various platforms and forums. Recently, he featured as um, one of the top agile leaders of 2021 by Sapphire Connect. He's among 101 top HR minds declared by World HRD Congress in 2019. He's a published author with long list of Marathi and English books. And for example, College to Corporate via Interview or Swayam Vikasachi Swayam Prerana, Password to Enrich Life, Holistic Approach to Employee Engagement, etc. Many more, I think, long list. As you can make out, he's very passionate about writing and sharing his HR knowledge and helping build better HR practices. Today we have him here to discuss future of work with him, and it's an amazing opportunity for us. Welcome, Vinod. Thank you so much for taking out time and
Thank
joining
you,
us.
Nina. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nina. And thanks, People Point and National HRD for inviting me to speak with the audience on future of work.
Fantastic. Vinod, can we start by you sharing with us what do we actually mean when we say future of work, future skills? What are we really looking at? Can you a bit elaborate on that?
Yeah, thank you. It is a very interesting question. Why? Because we always say that only one thing in constant in this world is the change itself. And we need to change as per the context changes. We all know, the world is evolving, world is changing after the COVID, even pre-COVID also. We listen the terminology called as a hookah world. There were a lot of challenges in the business, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, and many more. But let me explain you why this future of work make is a contextual. That there are, let's understand, there are different types of trends. One of the trend is global trends. For example, most of the organizations, the young generation, the people are focusing more on sustainability. So there is a lot of activism about carbon neutral or net zero, in the sustainability point of view, and United Nations is working closely with corporate on that. Then health and wellness, a lot of focus is going on to the health and wellness. So that is, geopolitical war happening. Russia Ukraine is one of the example. Extreme polarization in different countries. So these are the certain things impacting our life and the way of business, way of doing the business. So these are global trends. Now let's understand technological trends, like and future is already here. We are living with the future. For example, we are track sensor technology, your artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so many things. We are track. In fact, what we are speaking today is track because we log in with some email ID, and that is stored somewhere, and that our data is used by. So data security is becoming very prominent. So that is a technological trends. People are expecting fast things, instant reviews. The convenience is very important for the customer. So every organization and the businesses are putting the customer in the center, and the greed for the profit is increasing day by day, because they also organization also want some impact, to make the impact on the society by sustainable drive. So that is another thing. So technological trend. Then comes about that these global trends and technological trends have the impact on workforce trends. Like for example, gig economy, because then there is a lot of pressure on the profitability. Further, the talent is not available in the market easily. So the organizations and the business are compelled to find out different options to attract the right talent, and that's why gig economy is going forward. A simple example in blue collar is like our the Zomato, Swiggy sort of applications, Uber and Ola sort of applications, where a lot of gig workers are going forward. But and in simple language, what we call as a consultant is one of the example where they can be the gig workers. But in white collar also nowadays organizations are expecting that because of the availability of the talent, and second is about the flexibility what they expect, and third is about the expertise they need. Not necessarily they can afford to hire that expertise for a full-time jobs. Then there are certain things which definitely is going on with the regulation of the government. A lot of focus in European countries on GDPR, that is a privacy rules. In India also, the government is planning to introduce that bill in the parliament, and many more. And then definitely this workforce trends definitely have the impact on workplace itself. Now, what sort of workplace you are going to create? It's about purpose driven workplace, or your emotional workplace, or technological or digital workplace, or just a fun workplace. So this global trends in different areas are impacting the workforce, impacting the way of working, because then if you are putting the customer in the center, then you need different skill set. Because if we are speaking about the sustainability, we need a people of that mindset. There is a lot of information coming through the news channels, to the social media, which is influencing the audiences. So what narratives they are saying, so we need a different skill to understand. The business is evolving, the business models are evolving, so we need a different skill set of that. So
Absolutely.
keeping on these trends, we need to understand that, okay, what is the future? Maybe technological trend, disruptions, and all these things, what are those skill set? What are those capabilities? What are those soft skills or leadership skills we need for the future to drive the business, to drive your own growth as a person, as a professional? That is important. And that's why future of skills, understanding those future of work, the way of working, we need to understand very clearly what exactly it means, because everything will have the consequences, and we need to understand that consequences, evolve ourselves professionally, and then think that what are those skills that we need to. So that in holistically thinking about the future, that maybe let's think of what is the world look like after 5 years, 3 years, and then decide that, okay, how I can fit in those roles. That is the future of skills, I will say.
Brilliant, brilliant. So, we know the next question would be then, how do these skills look vis-a-vis different industry sectors? What parameters we need to consider while looking at them? And if possible, can you share some examples for our understanding?
Yeah. So take an example of the manufacturing industries. Now, what happened that in our homes, our refrigerators, our washing machines, our televisions are most of the customers are expecting to be IoT connected. Now, if it is customers are not expecting in certain segments, social strata, if we think about the social strata, but organizations are pushing because that is cheaper for them to produce those or manufacture those equipment in a large quantity and sell those product, and give, offer this offering as a value or the solution to the customer. So maybe sometimes customer doesn't expect, but sometimes the organization itself can go to the product, to the customers, and sell that product. Because you understand, the organizations are not selling their product, they are selling emotions, they are selling solution, they are selling values to the customer. And that's why, if we take an example of our homes, most of the things will be IoT connected, Internet of Thing connected, where on your Wi-Fi, in fact, it is already there in certain things, that you can set up your washing machine, you can set up your refrigerator. Imagine the situation that after 2 years, your refrigerator gives you the inventory of your product, what you are using, and automatically the shopping list is updated to the Amazon or DMart, and likewise, and the material is deliver at home. So it is solution selling. It is they are selling these solutions to you, that okay, you don't need to worry about what the product you are buying. Automatically it will be, at your home. So that is one of the example where we are already there in, like for example, our televisions are IoT connected, our washing machine perhaps, and you have in Apple phones or Android phones, there are applications where can monitor, that is one of the thing. Second is in manufacturing setup, most of the organizations are expecting the how they can monitor the health of their equipment. So there is one of the thing that their auto messaging coming on. Now that needs different skill set. That now take an example of as I can give the example of media industry, that the test reading test or understanding of the young generation is changing. The people, the audience are different now. What they like. So journalist who is creating a story or who is writing a story need to understand exactly uh, what is the span of attention that person is going to focus to read that story, and what media he is going to write that, whether it is on the print media, whether it is on the internet, whether is broadcast is on the YouTube channel or television. So accordingly he or she has to frame or write the storyline and then try to attract the consumers or the audience, what we can say. So these are different things, and this need different skill set. For example, technology is one of the thing. Of course there are engineers, data science, they are working. Simple example, you must have heard about chat gpt, is nowadays is a buzzword, where chat gpt is the application where it can do anything for you. It can write a blog, it can create a picture for you, everything. Now imagine the situation, how many jobs will be abundant. There will be the people who will look, because you don't need a creative writer, you don't need an artist, you don't need a communication expert, you don't need a coding journal, because if you command uh, as the coding applications, it will give you for you, and you can design your applications. It is ethical or unethical, we don't know, because then their laws and everything is comes into the picture. But this is a disruption, and then they will sell this as a. Now we need to change our thinking style, that okay, what can be the alternate to chat gpt. So chat gpt is collecting data, and then running the machine learning, and then they are giving you the data. But it is very important to understand that okay, what as a human being my role will be into that, how I can actually develop myself, so that what the technology, what the artificial intelligence is not giving, can I give that, and how I can develop into that. Maybe everybody will learn artificial intelligence, but what is that core in the artificial intelligence I can learn, that engineers need to think, the authors, writers, creative artists need to think, that what differently they can do that. In manufacturing there are a lot of automations happening. In service industry, automation, for example, the accountant who is actually paying the account payable, paying the money to the customers, sorry, in the vendors, and salaries on that. So we need to understand what is their role, because nowadays there is a bots who actually, the process is automated, and if there is a barcode, there is a order is matched with the purchase order, invoicing, receipt, scanning, and the payment factory gives the payment. Then out all of a sudden the job is taken away from in the people. Only one person need where there used to be five people. What these four people should do? Perhaps they need to learn new skills.
News.
That what is a financial controlling, business controlling, all these things. And this applies all the jobs, all the people, professionals around the world, that we need to think differently, that how I am going to be relevant in this world, and then learn those skills, unlearn what I was learning in past, take away those baggages.
Last week I was reading a few articles on this, and all the leading consultancies like Gartner, McKinsey, Deloitte, they're talking about the same thing. And everywhere, one thing they're very commonly saying is, uh, this was all happening, it was going to come. The only thing which
Yeah.
changes, COVID just accelerated the entire process.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Very true. So, in that case, then, as HR practitioners, what are these conversations? What do they mean to us? Like future skills, future of work. How do we need to prepare ourselves?
Yeah. First is, we need to come out from the traditional mindset. Still today, we HR professionals, think that, we are powerful. We play the role of police. We need to come out of that mindset, and we need to go in the mindset of facilitation. We need to go in the mindset of the coaching, mentoring, the consultant to the management, managers, and employees. And our mindset, we need to unlearn those skills. So HR professionals need to think more on a behavioral skills rather than functional skills. I'm not saying that functional skills are not important. That's really crucial to be a successful professional. But we need to go beyond that, stretch our boundaries, and think that, okay, what are, one of the thing always HR professionals need to be curious about the people and curious about the business, curious about the society. They need to be first the business managers. We ask the questions to the, always we that we always say that, business managers or the managers are the first HR professional managers for their employees. That is a new concept coming on that, because then they are working almost 780 hours with the employee. Now we need to think that HR managers first are the business managers. So they need to think about the business.
Very
They
true.
need, only one difference is that they are into the business of people, talent, I will say. It's the wrong word to use, business of people, but it's they are into that. So they need a very solid combination of business understanding and the people understanding.
Very true.
So that is one thing which normally we are missing, and that is the different mind shift change we need to do going forward. And of course, we need to also learn the way of working. Like, we need to come out from that police mindset, enforcing mindset, discipline mindset. Discipline is very important, but I'm saying that, enforcement, like licensing sort of mindset, we need to
Very
come
true.
out. And we also need to understand that what are those skill set. We need to help the managers. We need to help, because sometimes people may not have that awareness. They may not have the self realization that what is coming into that. So our job is to work closely with the leadership team, the management team, the managers, so-called steering committee members, and understand exactly that what is there, what are different trends coming, do the analysis, come with different competencies required, and it should, all the HR processes. For example, we are too much emotional with the HR processes. We need to facilitate that all the HR processes are not HR, it is the business processes. So, for example, performance management, talent management system, or your kind, it is a business process. And HR's role is to facilitate that, listen to the people, create the trust capital within the organization. We know all these capital things, and we speak a lot about human capital. But unless you don't have that trust, create the trustworthy environment or culture within the organization,
Yes.
then we will not be able to, think beyond that. So create that and work on the cultural sensitization about this, that what is coming. People may fear that, okay, if these things come, what I will do, my job may go up. But then there comes the reskilling. How what are those efforts as a HR professional we are putting on a skilling and reskilling of the workforce? Are we thinking that what is coming in my industry? For example, if I am a HR professional, I should think that, okay, how next 3 years looks like for me as a competence point of view. And
Very,
then my strategy should be around that, okay, what sort of culture I want to create in the organization. Work from home, a lot of people were speaking hybrid model and all these things. That are the ways actually to do the business. But exactly, it is more than that. Unfortunately, we are still stuck up with hybrid work model and all these things. We need to think that how we can facilitate the change within the organization, create right competency framework for the organization, create that right mindset, as exactly I said, mindset, tool set, and skill set within the organization, and come up with the program. So HR professionals need to be a program manager for these or HR initiatives in the organization, I think.
Brilliantly said. So one term which I read, which I found very interesting in one of the magazine blog, is that we HR people should stop chasing the unicorns. So
Yeah,
what they're saying is that we have such fixed ideas in our head about what is the right candidate, that we are actually in a way chasing a unicorn. But whereas the talent has moved on. So you today can have a
yeah,
product developing your technocrat, either a manager or even for a software engineer, individual contributor who wants to work 4 days in a big organization or a small organization doing software engineering, but 3 days he probably wants to play in a band. And as
yeah,
other people,
absolutely
we should create this flexibility and we should stop chasing unicorns. That is
right. Yeah, the organization's maturity is very important here. So our role is to create that ecosystem where we network, influence, such decisions. At the end of the day, the stakeholders may need also to be open to those ideas. So how we are actually creating that, and then demonstrating those benefit to the stakeholders, and then taking a call will be crucial in this step. I think.
very true. You gave me so much of material to think actually that it is going to be interesting for me afterwards. This what kind of workplace you want to create, whether it is purposeful, whether it is a fun workplace. That was a brilliant point to think. So, Vinod, should we move to the next segment of our discussion today? It it is we are calling it rapid musings. We Okay. So
Yeah.
the first question I have for you is, what is the topmost HR deliverable in your opinion for in 2023? What is your speculation?
Yeah. I think one of the things what I see is the continuing on the culture, creating the right culture within the organization, which is actually most of the business leaders are expecting from the HR professionals, specifically at a top level, I think. So that creating a right culture within the organization. Second is about digitalization in HR itself. Working on an employee experience. Digitalization per se is not for the sake of digitalization, but also how the different employee touch points are taken care of, and then how we can create a right employee experience within the organization, candidate experience within the organization, and of course, I think competence development will be still continue to be important for the business leader. How we can create an internal talent and give the opportunities to internal talent to grow within the organization is very important, I think. So those things are there, and all the HR initiatives can be put in these buckets of culture change, digitalization, your talent management practices, talent acquisition, bringing right people, and also working on employee experience, I think.
Great. So next question. Most crucial future skill for all professionals. What it will be?
Yeah. One is situation sensing, I will say. I
Oh,
always use this word. How you sense the situation. There is no black and white. The world is not simple. The people will not be, they are not straightforward. The to whom you are dealing with. How fast
can you
you are
say?
actually sensing what is happening around.
I like that.
Situation sensing is very important. Yes, that is one of the thing, and I hope that you understand what exactly means. Is word itself is the
So it's
elaborative, that
brilliant,
situation
brilliant,
sensing, sense the situation.
brilliant word. I like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Then another word again, situation sensing. I remember the sense making. Sense making. Like
Sense
I will
making.
give the example. There are a lot of sense making. There are a lot of we get a lot of information that in we have, on WhatsApp, on social media, on news channels, we get so many information. Even about the profession also, we get a lot of There are a lot of reading material is available. Now, what is relevant to me? Is that information relevant to me and relevant to my organization, and how I can design something out of that, rather than just carrying away, like, some buzzword comes during the years. Yeah, it is, and they say that is, oh, it's now a trend of the year and something like that. But is this really relevant to my business or relevant to me technology? Sometimes it's not. So, how you, or somebody is speaking, how you read between the line,
That is crucial.
that is making, getting the information. Yeah.
Okay. The next question is, what do we HR professionals need to let go from a future point of view? Let go, not keep. Both.
Yeah, I think HR professionals need to go one of the mindset that I know everything in HR.
Okay.
We think that we are expert in HR, uh, and perhaps that is not the thing, because
That is not the
we, and there are some organizations, HR professionals, apart from that, they want to do everything, helping the manager doing their job versus empower them, that to start speaking and collaborating with them and take a joint decision rather than taking it is a HR initiative.
very true. Right. So, Vinod, you've written so many books. Tell us one thing we can learn from them overall. Any one crucial learning.
Yeah. So one of the thing, I wrote many books, and those books are based on the stories what I learn, and there are real life examples in those books. And one of the messages from those books is always that every human being has a story, and that is a unique story, small or big, complex or simple. But there is always learning from those stories.
Those two.
So if you understand the people, every human being in your organization or your friends or the society have their own stories.
True.
Behind their face, there is a, that is a mask, plus behind that they are carrying a lot of stories. Recognize those, understand those, and respect those, actually, is the message I would like to say.
Brilliant. And the last question, what is your favorite people mantra?
Is, we tend to make the life more complex, and sometimes there are very solutions, and those solutions can be around us, from the nature, from the people around you, from the experiences, from your family members, your kids, spouses, all these things. So just strong observation is very important. And instead of making things complex, let's work on to making things simple, so that people understand without the jargons, and they can correlate that to themselves, rather than is a big buzz and uh, uh, complex things. So making the life simple is very easy, provided you have that intention, and you can do that.
This was brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much, Vinod, for sharing all this information. You gave us so much matter to think about. Thank you for spending this time with us.
Thank you, Neena. Thank you, Nina. My pleasure interacting with you and the audience once it is released. And special thanks to NHRD. I think it's a great opportunity to express my views on future of work. I hope that you are going to benefit something from that.
Definitely, we will. Thank you so much. And to our
Thank you. So, thank
to our dear audience, thank you so much for watching and sharing and commenting every time. So please subscribe, share with more HR colleagues, even business colleagues, and do share your comments with us so that we can keep bringing you new episodes. Thank you.